What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is Monday, so we have another ramble here. And then after work today, after tonight, so Tuesday morning, I'll get that bench press video posted back up. It's week 4 of the Mark Bell's Stronger in 30 Days bench program. So this is the 4th and final week before I retest my max the week after. So it's only it's gonna be 265 for three doubles. It looked like. I just checked the page. So, but you know, it's excited, right? See if my bench press actually went up a little bit. You know, stuff like that. So if you were interested in those videos, please consider, checking that out. So I'll put a link down below, stuff like that. And, if you're not, then don't check it out, right? I'll see you at the next ramble. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about, some of these drugs. They say that I've had a video before about marijuana and some side effects that people do and can experience, and some of my own experiences with it, side effects wise, it can help you concentrate and play video games all day and stay locked in and do good at that, or whatever other things you want to do, some people smoke a lot of weed, play guitar, Willie Nelson, something like that. Snoop Dogg with his music, a lot of people with their music. It helps them with their creativity. A lot of rappers, and a lot of people in general. A lot of people like to do it when they lift weights. I used to like to do it before I lifted weights, because it would help me zone out, especially on those days where I needed high repetitions, and I didn't get so tied up into the numbers because I just focused on doing the lifts as opposed to how many times I was lifting it, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. You go onto the field. Sometimes when you go on the field, you can do way more than what you could do with thinking about numbers. Because this is my personal opinion, is that when you think about the numbers, that you sometimes can hold yourself back, right? You hold yourself back because you think about how exhausting those numbers are to do and perform and stuff like that. And, instead of just listening to your body and seeing how capable it actually is, right? You might give up before then because of the high number. So it might not make sense to some people, but it made sense to me, and it was weird because like I've said, I hit PRs and I didn't even know it because I wasn't counting. My friends would, buddy would be like, "Dang, you hit it for X amount." And I'm like, "Dang, man, I blew away my old PR." Why? Because I was, thinking about the numbers and stuff like that. So sometimes it's good to get away from that stuff, but it also comes with consequences. I watched this podcast recently and I related pretty closely to it, even though they were talking about a different drug. It was Theo Von's podcast when he had Billy Strings on. They were talking about cocaine, and he was saying the first time he did cocaine, and he had a little bit left over the next day, and he went to school, and not even a quarter way through school, he said 15 minutes in, he left early to go home to do cocaine, because all he could think about was his cocaine sitting on his dresser, all alone, and how he wanted to just be alone with his cocaine. And it was like, I got to a point where, if I had the marijuana available, or, some there, that's what I would think about, just smoking weed, and, it's not good. You can be addicted to that stuff and various things like that, right? Especially when you reach a state where, you're constantly just thinking about how you're going to plan your day around smoking marijuana, so that, you can drive, so you can go to work, so you can go do this trip that you wanted to do with your family and stuff like that. Some people, they might be able to function like that, but not everybody, right? And not everybody's willing to admit it to themselves, right? it's not till they almost sober up till they realize that they actually had a problem with those things, right? And it's okay to admit it later on and stuff like that, but you also got to see it during. A lot of times it's might be subtle. You'd be like, yeah, I missed this thing, I forgot about this thing, I made these plans and I didn't do any of it. Why? Because I would rather sit there and do drugs instead. I'd rather get high than doing something else, right? It was like that song by Afro Man, Because I Got High. I was going to get up and clean my room, but then I got high. And then it was like, it starts to ring some type of truth in that, right? And, these are things to consider and for you to see within yourself. And, if you want to make those, in order to make those changes, if you want to make those changes, if you want to, be more dependable, not only to yourself or for yourself, but for others around you sometimes. But, like I said, there's people that I know that smoke a lot of weed, and, there's some of the most dependable people, just because, they're able to do that, they're capable of doing that, doesn't mean everybody is. So, if you, it's like anything else. If you have a problem and you identify it and you want to make the change, you got to do it. You can't worry about nobody else, because not everybody else is you. Not everybody else reacts the same to these things as you do. Maybe they, maybe some people, they're like, oh, I got super stoned last night, but then they don't smoke for a week. They have self-control. If you have none in regards to any of these things, don't do it. Stay away from that shit, right? Stuff like that. So, that's one of the main reasons why I don't like to do that stuff. As much like if I have it, I'm gonna smoke it. If I don't, or if I do, or if I don't, I'm not worried about it, It's not, for some people it might be different, I know some people that talk about quitting smoking weed, but they can't at the end of the day, because they are addicted. They're chemically addicted to that effect that it does has on your mind and your body, So just because some people can do it, kick it whenever they don't have it, whenever they can't afford it or whatever, and doesn't mean everybody else can, right? So everybody has different situations. Everybody has different ailments. Everything's different, right? So you just got to factor in those things and how you're affected by those things, and obviously take those all into consideration and making choices for yourself and things like that. And it's never going to be easy. Never going to be easy if you need those help, or sometimes when you need that support, and you don't have it, it's not a bad thing to reach out to people, or talk about it, or share your thoughts and your opinions on it, and maybe you'll come across others that experience the same thing. Maybe they had something that worked for them that you might consider trying, that you haven't tried yet, to help you become a better person in your own eyes. That's, at the end of the day, you do these things for better self-improvement, because you want to be better in your own eyes, right? And that's all anybody, that's why people go to the gym. That's why people run. That's why people play sports. That's why people, they get up and do things, and they try to improve at those things, all the time. So, but it's not to shame anybody, because it's, I fully believe people should smoke weed, especially if it helps them. For some people that have certain illnesses, they do it like if they have a hard time eating. Put some meat on those bones, like if it helps you eat, smoke some weed, man, who cares? If you have back pain, stay away from them opioids or opiates or whatever they call them, I think those pills are way worse than some THC, some weed, that's a personal opinion. So, but because I've seen how much more, pills and stuff like that can have on people, you know what I mean? So, battling addiction is never easy, no matter what you're addicted to. Energy drinks, coffee, you know. I love me some coffee, but, you know, it's getting me off energy drinks, so I'm going to stick on to those for now. You know, maybe, you know, I don't know. It ain't like it's, you know, everybody's going to say that, right? It's not a problem, right? But it can be, I guess. So there's, you know, I don't think anybody really died from coffee unless they like took a butt ton. There's that one guy that did like a 3-month supply of coffee, and he was in the in the jail, and they thought he was on drugs, but he really just overconsumed in caffeine, right? And was, you know, probably close to overdosing in caffeine. And he's like, I'm never doing it again. This is worse than any drug I ever took, and all that weird stuff, you know. And it's like, caffeine is technically a drug, man. It's a mind-altering chemical, so just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's not a drug. So, you know, yeah, many over-the-counter drugs. So, but anyways, that's going to conclude this. And, you know, if you decide to go down the road of battling certain addictions, you're not alone. You're never going to be alone. Not in this world, you know. Never in this world are you going to ever be alone when you're going to battle these things. But I wish you the best of luck when you take your journey, you know. You can always reach out to me. Hit me up at cloudslayer53@gmail.com, you know. Maybe we can look for some resources near you. You know, I always just have an open ear. I had, you know, had a good weekend too. I hope everybody else had a good weekend. Hope you guys have a great week. And, you know, I went over to Matt's house this weekend, and we were listening to some music, freaking playing the guitar, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, just having a good time, having fun, chopping it up with the boys, you know. Yeah, so shout out to Matt, you know, awesome time. Met his son Dell in person, first time, you know. It was awesome. Good kid. You know, so hopefully, you know, because Matt's a great dad to me, you know. Well, not to me, but, you know, in my eyes, he's a great dad. You know, just based off of, you know, just talking to him and hearing his logic behind some of these, you know, those things. And, you know, sometimes he gives me points of views that I never would have ever considered, right? And that's, you know, it's rare to find that in other people sometimes, especially if, you know, they're willing to give it to you. So, but anyways, I'll see you guys next ramble. Don't be afraid to reach out or anything if anybody wants to. And I'll see you guys next one. Peace.